What is going on, everybody? This is Dr. Chris Featherstone, the birthday boy. And this guy right here is Vince Russo. How are
That's
you?
today, bro. Today?
Yesterday.
Happy birthday, Dr. Chris. Did you have a wonderful birthday, bro?
I did, man. I had a fantastic weekend. I had just so much love coming my way, man. Just friends and family. And I got I got a lot of people social media wise, a lot of follows on Facebook and stuff like that, man. And IG and just a lot of just everywhere, man. Socials, people giving me love, man. It was I felt great this weekend, man.
Yes, good for you. And you deserve every bit of it. Chris, you are a stand-up guy. You know I love you, bro. And good for you, man. I'm glad people celebrated the great doctor.
Thank you, man. That means a lot. I really, really appreciate that. All right, that's the great news. The bad news is what we just saw, man.
Bro, I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to put a couple things over tonight.
Please do.
Listen, bro. Guys, listen. When I say I'm going to put a couple of things over, let's not get all panicky, okay? This was not a good show by any stretch of the imagination. I am not lowering the bar like everybody else, but there are some things on this show that I want to point out and I want to put over, but there are also a lot of things that I just shake my head, man. I shake my head from the beginning of the show where we see Brock Lesnar. And then that's it, Chris. We have a 3-hour show where we can work in the Cody and the Brock feud, bro. 3 hours.
Yeah.
This guy hits the ring, 10 minutes into the show, and then poof. He just disappears. I will never understand that, bro, for as long as I live. I don't get it, bro. I don't get it, man.
Especially when they're paying him for the night. So why not capitalize and maximize him for the entire night?
Yeah. And bro, there were two things they did really bad tonight, bro. And the way they did them really made it seem like a fake show. And bro, I gotta say this because I am a big fan of Kevin Dunn and I am a big fan of television production, and they usually don't do this. But tonight they did this on two occasions, bro. When you had the drama with Cody and Brock, and then later on when you had the drama with Baszler and Ronda Rousey. Bro, they hit the music immediately when it was over. They didn't give it time to breathe. They didn't drag out drama. As soon as Lesnar was dumped from the ring, they hit the music. As soon as, I don't remember exactly what happened with the women, but they hit the music immediately. And it really felt like, okay, guys, this is fake and this segment is over now. Yeah. And that usually isn't like them, bro. But it felt so fake. The way they just immediately, I mean, Brock is dumped from the ring. We hit the music. Why are we hitting the music unless we know Brock's not making a comeback?
Yeah.
That's the only reason we're hitting the music. We're hitting the music because we know Cody's going to be standing in the ring and Brock's going to be walking away. That's why we're hitting the music. But, bro, that's bad producing, bro. It's bad directing. And I do want to point out they rarely do that. But tonight they did it twice and it just seems so fake.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you on the Cody and Brock segment. As far as the Ronda and Shayna segment, good job, Kevin Dunn, for doing that. Because, man, we'll talk about that segment.
We'll talk about that too, bro. Yeah, because there are things that I do want to talk about, man.
Yeah. All right, let's dive into these super chats. Let's start off with Joseph Gonzalez. 999. He says, I can't believe I'm actually giving an episode of Raw a compliment, but in my opinion, tonight was the best match Natty has had in ages. The classic story of the veteran trying to prove she still got it.
1000%. You
Yeah.
guys, I don't put over matches. As a matter of fact, the last match I put, neither guy is with the WWE anymore. It was bro, I talk about it all.
Black and
Buddy
Murphy. Yeah.
Yes, bro, that was 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I'm putting over this match with those two, and I'm going to tell you why, guys. It's quite simple. First of all, I mean, those two girls worked their butts off. Here's what I like about my wrestling, Chris, and this is why I'm going to put the match over, just like I did with Buddy Murphy and Aleister Black. Why did I put that over, Chris? Because this looked like a fight. Okay, this looked like a fight. There's no over the top acrobat, none of that BS. This was a fight. And bro, I'm telling you, every time it looks like a fight, I'm not just speaking for myself, I'm speaking for casual fans. That's what they want to see. They want to see a fight. And kudos to both of these women, bro. Listen, I don't think Natty's going to mind me saying this, bro, because anybody can look it up on Wikipedia. Bro, she's a 41-year-old woman. Give her freaking credit, bro. I mean, Chris, man, at 41 to put in that type of time with that type of performance, bro, you got to tip your hat to that, Chris. I mean, 41, and she didn't get blown up. And I thought both of them looked great.
Yeah, she looked legit, man. And I've said this before on the show and many other shows. Like, there was times in her career that she looked like they booked her to be a legit shooter. When she was with what's that just wife's name? Beth Phoenix. Yeah, Beth Phoenix. When she was with Beth Phoenix, when they were pinup strong, they looked like two legit shooters, and she looked tough. And she has that ability. They just booked her like the fart gimmick and just a whole bunch of craziness, man. And she's really put in so much work, to get here. And it's crazy, man, because they just announced the fact that she they announced on social media this past weekend she has 6 Guinness World Records, man. And so that's great. So I think they wanted to showcase her a little bit more today because she had the Guinness World Records. And so that's what I see with that. It could have been just a straight squash match like it was before, but it seemed like they want to put more time. And that was good because she really maximized those minutes, and she did a great job.
And bro, these are the things you got to capitalize on. You see what I'm saying? Like, capitalize on that performance. Do something next week. But I thought, and bro, Rhea Ripley's like, there was one spot, bro, when she went to the corner and she was facing outside of the ring and she was going up. And I'm looking at her and I'm like, bro, this woman is just a freak of nature. Like, she is a big woman, and to be able to do what she does for her size, bro, she's a freak. I mean, there's no question about that.
Indeed. We got Mike Dowling, $2 super chat. Happy birthday, Dr. Pierce. Thank you very much. I really, really appreciate that, Mike. Very, very, very much. Bro, if you want to pay for super chats to wish me happy birthday, just cash at me.
Throw cash at Dr. Pierce. Bro, can we point this out though in the first segment, man? This bothers me so much. So, bro, Dominik is challenging Seth Rollins, who what champion is he? What's the name of this belt?
World Heavyweight Champion.
World Heavyweight Champion. Okay. And what Damian Priest is standing there with the case. Bro, what was the point of Money in the Bank if Dominik can just have a match with Seth Rollins? I don't. What was the point? And it was just 2 days ago, bro, where these guys fought for their lives to win Money in the Bank. And here we are in 2 days. Oh, Dominik's going to get a shot again. I don't understand it, bro.
It was non-title.
Did they ever say that?
Yeah, it was not. I think it was non-title from the beginning promo. It was just like, "Hey, well, I'm gonna threaten you with the Money in the Bank, but there's someone here because I've already got my match," is what Rhea was saying. But there's someone here who wants to fight you, and so it was just he's there from the three of them. That
Bro, I don't remember. Listen, I don't pay strict attention to this show, but I don't remember them ever saying it was a non-title match. Maybe they did, bro, but
yeah, they never booked it as a title match. So because they would have definitely made the graphics and stuff like that if it was a title match. But yeah, they didn't do that. So that was the first segment, and then we followed by, like I said, like we were talking about Rhodes and Lesnar, they brawl. See, here's my thing as far as the realism that you're talking about. So Brock, I mean, he manhandles, Cody in the beginning, and then Cody does some, gut punches and try to make it seem like there's some type of balance here back and forth. But Vince, would you have booked it the way that they did with their brawling, and then all of a sudden they switch it into a wrestling move? Like Brock is going back and forth with Cody, and then he goes to the ring and now he has to sell a Cody cutter. Like it just turns into it turns from just brawling to
it always does, bro. It always winds up wrestling. But Chris, think about this, because you and I talk about logic and reality. Bro, where does Brock live?
He lives in Saskatchewan,
Canada.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, think about this, bro. If this were real, Brock decides all the way from Saskatchewan, Canada, I'm going to get in a plane.
Yeah.
And I'm going to fly to Monday Night Raw. Bro, Saskatchewan, Canada. Chris, I beg you, go to the computer right now. Tell me how many miles it is from Saskatchewan, Canada to Baltimore, Maryland. Tell me how many miles that is, bro. Okay, so think about this guy, bro. At some time over the weekend, Brock decides, he tells wife Sable, hey, you know what? I'm going to go to Baltimore to beat up Cody Rhodes. How far is it, Chris?
31-hour drive. 2,013 miles.
2,000 miles. Okay, guys. So, okay, Sable, I'm going to leave you and the kids. I'm going to go beat up Cody. So, bro, he travels 2,000 miles.
Yes.
Gets there, hits the ring. They have a little bit of a brawl. Cody dumps him out of the ring, and yes. Brock says, all right, I'm going to go home now. I'm going to get back on the plane and travel another 2,000. Like, think about the logic of that, bro. It is so freaking illogical. It's not even funny, bro. Yeah. 2,000 miles he flew to get dumped out of the ring and say, all right, get you next time.
Yes.
Oh, God, bro, please.
That's hilarious, man. Yeah, that's a 4,000-mile round trip.
Yes,
yes. 5 minutes, man.
Yes, yeah. Oh my God, bro! Think about the money they invested in getting Brock there for what? Like, what did this do? What did it do, bro?
Nothing. It was one of the okay. I've been waiting for Brock to come back. Which again, man, it's like, where are you, Brock? And why is Brock playing like a chicken crap heel in a sense? You know what I mean? Like that's not something that
Brock Lesnar should not be afraid of anybody.
I agree.
Anybody, anytime.
Yeah. Why is Cody on the prowl? You know what I mean? Like Brock broke his arm, so he doesn't need to be the one who's being the hunt's head. Brock is the hunter. Like literally, he's the hunter. He hunts for a living.
The prey is hurt, bro. It's almost like you shoot a deer,
yes,
but you don't quite kill it, and you follow in the blood tracks.
Yep, exactly. A shark that smells blood, man. Like the same thing from a water standpoint. A shark that smells blood, but for some odd reason, Brock is the hunted in this angle. It just doesn't make sense. All right, we got Awesome Sauce $5 super chat. Y'all see WWE trying to sell results from the PLE in the third hour before commercial after they open the show with highlights and people having internet access. Interesting. Huh. Yeah.
Explain that to me. What does he mean? Do you know what he means?
So I guess going into the third hour before the commercial, they're trying to they did the graphic of showing the results of Money in the Bank. So it seems like they were trying to use that to bring people and to make them stay over for the third hour, because the third hour usually drops.
Bro, I got a difference of opinion than Awesome Sauce, but I do respect Awesome Sauce's opinion. Bro, outside of WrestleMania, I don't remember them hyping up a pay-per-view so hard after the fact. I think this was all about AEW going to England, bro.
You think so?
Absolutely, because it was over the top.
Interesting.
It was this wasn't WrestleMania, bro. It was Money in the Bank, and it was England, 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 and I'm like, why do you feel you need to do that? I mean, are you really acknowledging AEW as competition, bro? Like seriously, come on, man. You know,
really interesting. And here's the thing, it just I don't understand why it has to be like a back and forth. You know,
I
mean,
agree. I agree.
There's no point. Like, okay, sure, if AEW sells out Wembley, that helps pro wrestling as a whole. Like, it doesn't make sense. Like, you would want them to sell out. Like, for instance, if I am Ohio State, Michigan. If Michigan is the more popular Michigan is leading into the Ohio State game, our competition, the more we look good because it's making people really intrigued in it as a whole, the sport as a whole. And so I think having AEW sell out the stadium, great. You know what I mean? And I don't think, because it was weird to me in Money in the Bank when Cena comes out just kind of like a feeler. You know, he didn't even confirm anything. He was just like, "Hey, what do you think about WrestleMania in London?" Of course, they're going to be
weak.
excited about
it's
it.
weak. It's weak, bro. It's weak. I don't even know why they're going there.
Indeed. Rollin 999 super chat, bro. I don't understand the Guinness Book of Records. Are the records shoot records or kayfabe records? And since Natalya's records are for women, why isn't there a male counterpart for these same records? Good questions. I believe the records are a shoot. Now the records are what you make them. I mean, they're Guinness just kind of like, oh, okay, let's just throw this record out here. Like, it's not a record that was really highlighted before, Natalya, but because she's done so much in the business, if I'm not mistaken, there's like some application or there's some type of like submission to be approved through Guinness. And I imagine WWE did that, you know what I mean, to get it approved through Guinness. It wasn't so essentially, since now that's the record and she's she didn't beat anybody. Now, I suppose, like, I think it's WrestleMania appearances, I think it's total matches, most wins, stuff like that. So now that's the standard of someone potentially, in the future, overshadowing that record. So
yeah,
that's typically how that works. Michael Anthony 1499 super chat, bro. What's your thoughts on Triple H telling the fans good things come to those who wait for LA Knights? With you knowing what Triple H is like, is it him trying to pull down the hype down for LA Knight?
Bro, this is what we talked about, Michael. I'll tell you this is exactly what we talked about. Me and Chris talked about. Here's what we talked about, bro. They were beating Damian Priest to death because they knew they were going to do something with him.
Yep.
So, because now we beat Damian Priest to death, now he's got to win Money in the Bank, and we can't put LA Knight over because we beat Damian. So we will totally kill Damian Priest if he does not win Money in the Bank. So it's not a matter of good things come to those who wait. It's a matter of that was the plan for Damian Priest for a very long time, so they were not going to put LA Knight over. But, Chris, I'm going to tell you this, and we talk about this all the time, man, and I hate this. And, bro, I like Damian Priest. I do. I like his look. I really like Damian Priest. But, Chris, you and I spoke about this. By beating him so much leading into Money in the Bank, it feels like it doesn't mean anything when he wins it, bro.
Yeah.
This should be This should be a guy that's trying to get a title shot, The champion is blowing him off, not to, blah, blah, blah. Finally, he gets that title shot. Not a guy you beat to death and then he gets Money in the Bank. It doesn't mean anything because he's a 50-50 wrestler, and you think everybody's going to forget about all the losses. It doesn't work that way, bro.
It's all about momentum, man.
It is.
It makes no sense to me of how this sport is sports entertainment, but it's still a sport. You're booking people to reduce their momentum to logically gain momentum. That, like in any sport across the board, that makes zero sense. Absolutely no sense.
Absolutely great point. Absolutely. Yeah. And bro, that's why it seems like the Money in the Bank never means. I remember when Otis run it, and now who won it? Sky. What's her name?
Sky.
Like, I've seen Io Sky beat 1,000,000 times. It doesn't mean anything, bro.
Yeah, indeed. Now we have speaking of Damian Priest, he beats Shinsuke Nakamura. What's your thoughts on Shinsuke, man? What's left for Shinsuke? He comes in, he has some momentum coming from Japan in the beginning of the year, with his run with Muda. He gets drafted to Raw, wins, gets some Money in the Bank, but just 50-50 and now just tapering off to losing more than
bro. It seems to me like he's in that Miz role. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like where he's just there to lose now. I mean, and I don't know, bro.
That's sad to me, man. I mean, do you see how could you revive Shinsuke Nakamura? Do you think that he's salvageable at this point?
Bro, I think he is salvageable. Bro, listen, we listen, they're obviously acknowledging AEW. Okay, with all the London talk and look what we did. Okay, bro, then let's acknowledge New Japan.
Yeah.
What since it's almost like, okay, bro, our brother's in the country alone, and he's not faring too well. Maybe he needs a little. Let's have a little gangster, a little Japan mafia, bro. Let some badasses come over from Japan and back him up. Let him be the leader of that group, bro. I mean, why not? I mean, AEW really capitalizes on that New Japan audience. If they are now looking at AEW as competition, why aren't they trying to do that?
And that's fair. That's fair to say. And I think that's, that sounds fun. I just don't think WWE would do much about it. And he founded Chaos. So he did find, a New Japan group, and it's Chaos is to this day, is still around. And so it's helped, Nakamura was a man. He was a star in New Japan, man. That's one of the reasons why WWE capitalized on him. But why would you hire someone who has such star power in a major promotion just to dilute them so much? That just again, it doesn't. That's like hiring. Who's one of your boys? You're a baseball guy. Who's one of your favorite players on your team?
Anybody? Bryce Harper.
Okay, Bryce Harper. There you go. That's like, okay, so I own, I'm Ohio guy, so I own the Guardians franchise. So I bring in Bryce Harper. Bryce Harper's this big star. I spend my money to bring in Bryce Harper, who's a star for your team, just to sit him on the bench. Like how does that make business sense?
Oh, it's real simple. It's real simple, Chris. It's what we come here and talk about every week. They are creatively bankrupt. Bro, listen, I can go back to the Attitude Era and Taka Michinoko. Yeah. Remember we brought in Kai Tai, bro? So now he was the baby face and these three guys were after him. I mean, bro, give me something. The guy's got charisma. Yeah. I'm talking about Nakamura. Yeah. He's got a look. Give me something, bro.
Yeah, I agree with you. And the thing is crazy is because like you have people who were in Japan, who stars in Japan, like Anderson and Gallows. I mean, they were big, they were big in Japan. Why not have a rekindle a feud between AJ and Nakamura? And Anderson and Gallows, like, man, look, we've been under you for so long, and look where we are now. We're in catering. We're not doing anything. And then Nakamura offers them to have a spot with him and actually get more opportunities. Why can't you have something like that with the people that you have internally?
Creatively bankrupt.
Creatively bankrupt, man. Creatively bankrupt. That's clearly what it is, because we come up with ideas all the time on the show that actually makes
off the top of our heads, Chris.
Yes, indeed.
This isn't our job.
Yeah.
We're not, bro. You got patience all week long, bro. I got podcasts all week long. We're not thinking about this 24/7, bro.
Yeah, that's true. Very true, man. Next we have Ronda. Oh man. Okay, so I'll turn the baton and pass.
Well, you got to help me first, Chris, before you give me the baton, because I saw what happened at Money in the Bank.
Yeah,
and bro, I'm very confused. Who's supposed to be the babyface and who's supposed to be the heel here?
Either. So, okay. So in the tag match, and again, Vince, this came from absolutely nowhere.
Right.
There was no tease. There was no accidental bump. The week before, there was nothing. It came from absolutely nowhere.
Bro, you know where this came? Let's explain to the people where it came from. Because, guys, this is where there's no logic whatsoever with them. This is exactly where it came from. So Liv and Rachel Rodriguez are the tag team champions.
Yeah.
Liv gets hurt. Mm-hmm. So Liv is going to be out now. So now they got to put the tag belts on someone else. Mm-hmm. So now they put them on Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler. Yeah. They've got the tag belts now. But now Liv is healthy. So we want to go back to the original plan. And what they want to do, bro, is they want to go back to the original plan with Liv and Rodriguez, but they don't want to beat Shayna Baszler and Ronda Rousey. So they have Baszler turn on Rousey, causing them the belts. Bro, this blew me away because, bro, I'm not a big UFC guy, but I've seen enough Ronda Rousey. Mm-hmm. When Shayna Baszler turns around and tells Ronda Rousey, I paid my dues and you didn't. And Ronda Rousey was in the UFC, bro, fighting for her life and getting punched in the face. And wait a minute, bro, that's not paying your dues. So that's why, I'm watching this and I'm like, okay, bro, Shayna attacked her for no reason from behind. Now she's accusing Ronda Rousey of never paying her dues, who clearly paid her dues in UFC. But yet the fans were chanting for Shayna Baszler.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Vince, listen, it makes no sense because there's so many gaping holes in this whole angle. Because it's like, okay, they were friends. They should have talked about that when they were roommates. You know what I mean? It just doesn't make sense. That's one. Two, Shayna Baszler said that she brought in Ronda Rousey. So why would she get mad at the person that she brought in to be successful? And guess what? Number three, they were tag team champions. So maybe it would have made more sense if Ronda wasn't cut out for wrestling and wasn't good enough, and they were trying to win the championships, and then that caused Shayna Baszler to get frustrated because Ronda Rousey just wasn't cut for it. No, not only did they win the tag team championships on their first attempt, they merged it with the NXT tag team championships. So now they're the undisputed tag team champions. So they're the most dominant tag team across the board. And all of a sudden, Ronda Rousey's upset. I mean, Shayna Baszler's upset at Ronda Rousey it made no sense to me. There's no clear-cut babyface in this. This whole angle is just ridiculous.
It is, bro.
It just makes no sense. But here's the thing. Rousey, I heard that Rousey wants out.
She
after.
should get out, bro. Let me tell you something, bro. Listen, Chris, be honest with me here. Ronda Rousey was a huge star in UFC. Okay, bro, she was sooner or later going to get beat.
Yeah.
Everybody sooner or later. Mike Tyson got knocked out by Buster Douglas.
Yeah.
Okay, sooner or later, bro, you're going to lose. But she was a mega star. And bro, she could have had a career as in Hollywood. She could have been a female version of
movies. Yeah.
Arnold Schwarzenegger. Bro, she has so devalued herself in the WWE outside of Cashola has done nothing for her career. Zero.
I think for her, like when because I follow UFC a lot. I used to cover UFC when I was writing journalist, and I watched UFC all the time. And for her, I mean, she was on just a tirade. She like Holly Holm versus Ronda Rousey was like a modern day Buster Douglas versus Mike Tyson. Like people, like no one, like if you bet on Holly Holm, you could have bought a house. Like it was like that. She was I mean, before, I mean, Holly Holm was pretty good. I mean, I believe she was undefeated like 6 or 7-0 before she went to Ronda Rousey, but she was just still a relative no name. People didn't know Holly Holm that much. Knocked her out clean, and then that really deflated because she was on interviews, like Ronda Rousey was on interviews talking about she was getting stressed about that and things like that, and then she was thinking about retiring, and then getting clocked by Amanda Nunez definitely didn't help the matter. So she was just like, okay, look, I'm just kind of waving the right flag on UFC because it's mentally not helping me. So the WWE was like an outlet for her. And you could tell, like in the very beginning, that she was grateful for the opportunity. Like the fans were really getting behind her, especially the match with her and Angle against Triple H and Steph. I think that was a good build. You know, I mean, it was supposed to be her and Rock because, you know, the year before they had that segment at 31 with, you know, Stephanie and Triple H, and she does the takeover. So that was supposed to set up the match with the mixed tag. Rock couldn't do it. Kurt was a fantastic replacement. Fans were totally in it when at New Orleans. But then what happened, Vince, is that it's like fans can can see crap from a far away, and they call it out, right? Ronda Rousey got to the point early in her career that you can just tell that her passion just wasn't in it. And then when she started to get a little bit of mixed reaction, you can tell that stuff she really internalizes that stuff. And then the more she got that, the more she just kind of lost her passion in the business. And I don't think it ever really came back.
And bro, I think a part of that too was her schedule was completely different. When she had to go on the road for all those days, that's not how she trained as a UFC fighter. I think when they really wanted her to do those dates, I don't think she was cut out for that, bro.
I agree. The traveling schedule is much different because you only fight, 3-4 times a year.
Yeah.
And
you're training at the same place.
Correct. Yeah.
Between the fights.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. Yeah. So you could tell a difference. And I think for now it's just like, because she was gone for nearly a year. I mean, she left at WrestleMania 35 after the triple threat match, and she was gone for a long time. I think she came back at the Royal Rumble the next year. And I think it's just, she had a baby, and then, she was just away, Travis Brown and her husband. And it just seems like she's served her purpose in the WWE, and her being a heel is like a fail-safe, thing, just to give her the heat, because if they were trying to make her babyface, because when she came back, she was babyface again. The fans gave her the return pop, and then they were like, okay, we're like, okay, now we understand why we're done. We were done with you in the first place. Again, that took the heart, and now it's easy for her to hone in that heel character to, address the hater, so to speak. But I think she's done. Like from what I heard, she wanted to be out after Royal Rumble because I heard a rumor that they were trying to build Baszler and Rousey for WrestleMania against each other again. Man, Baszler has uh the charisma of a turtle, man. I mean, she was really good as a monster heel in NXT, and that was really good for her. She was suited well. They brought her up to the main roster. They had her beat the brakes off of Becky Lynch. That WrestleMania match didn't really vibe and gel very well, and then she was just out of place. It just her charisma just really doesn't work for her. So,
bro, was it just me, or did that need to the face look really stiff?
it was stiff, but Ronda did a horrible job selling it.
Oof.
Like it looked good. I mean, it was stiff. Like she went out for a second, then she moves and she's like, Shayna. And I'm like, what? What do you do? Like, you need to be just out, like, forget the whole Shayna spot. See, that's the type of stuff just as a wrestler that you need to improvise.
Yes.
Like if you know, like if you felt that spot,
yeah,
you better just stay knocked out, instead of get it back up. Because that helps Shayna Baszler. Like if you're knocked out, but if you just barely sell it and say Shayna, that's helping her less. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, Chris. Absolutely. Yep.
Next we have we got a couple super chats. Let's get into the super chats. We got Lewis Harwood. I felt like all the women's promos sounded like teenage high school drama. Also, guys, are you a fan of the Raw theme song or do you prefer older ones?
All of the women's promos are like teenage high school drama, Lewis. You are 100%.
Especially after the summit last week.
Yeah. Oh my God, bro. I'm sorry. I'm always gonna be a fan of too much Raw. I'm sorry, bro. Nothing's ever gonna be better than that for me, bro.
Yeah, that's I think, oh man, I have to remember all the Raw theme songs and figure that out. So but that one definitely is up one of my favorites too. Young Reckless 499 super chat. Why is you know what I was thinking of? You get to, I don't think it was there. I don't think. Oh, you might have been there. No, you weren't there at that time. It was probably early 2000s. Move to the music, play funky music. Move to the music, yeah. That one's.
Are you sure you're not getting that confused with "Play That Funky Music, White Boy"?
No, it's
okay. Oh, that's a whole totally different song, right?
It was rock versus funk, but with Play That Funky Music, White Boy, that's for sure.
Bro, would that song be allowed in 2023? Play That Funky Music, White Boy, or would that be offensive to some white boys, bro?
It'd probably be canceled by.
What a great song that was, bro! I used to love that song, man.
It was. Let's see here. We also got the Young Reckless saying, why is Drew chasing Gunther? He should be chasing Seth. Finn should chase Gunther. I don't know why Finn should chase Gunther. Drew should go for Seth belt because his weight class, he's believable. I see what you mean there, but I think what they're trying to do, Young Reckless, is that it's a carry on from unfinished business. And I think it makes sense. I agree that, Drew coming back, he should go for the world title, but I think it eventually will get there. But the last time we saw Drew was 3 months ago and he lost to Gunther at WrestleMania. So it makes sense that he's coming back for Gunther to get that Intercontinental Championship. So I'm fine. I'm fine with the Drew return. We get Michael Anthony, $7.99. Hey, Vince, why would WWE have Jey Uso pin Roman? Whoever beats Roman now gets the title, but not the prestige of being the first one to beat him. What do you think?
That's a great point, Michael. That's a great point. I bet you, bro, a lot of that was personal choice. You know what I'm saying, bro? I bet you a lot of that was, Jay kind of being subservient to Roman for so long. I bet you there was a big part of Roman that wanted to return that favor. So I bet you, bro, there was a lot of personal feelings involved in that. But even with that said, Michael, I believe I agree with you 100%. I mean, it's called in wrestling, we used to call it taking the bloom off the rose. That's what we used to call it. And yes, I agree with you 1,000%.
Yeah, I can see that point too. And to your point, Vince, the huge chunk of the Bloodline storyline is the brainchild or the brainchild of both Paul Heyman and Roman Reigns. So they are the masterminds mostly behind the Bloodline saga. And so I can definitely see that Roman Reigns wanted to set this up, first time in 3.5 years. Now, ideally, this leads to Jay versus Roman at SummerSlam, and I think at the end of the day, it still makes sense because Jay probably won't beat Roman at SummerSlam, but the pin gives him some type of stock and skin in the game to say, okay, well, I should get a world title match. Now, to me, logically, that makes sense because it wasn't a clean. I mean, it was a clean, but it was assisted by Jimmy. They were super kicking him galore. So it wasn't just a 101, match that he lost. It was a tag match that the loss made sense. Like the loss is building up Jay's stock to be that title contender. Otherwise, if you're just throwing a match, it just wouldn't have made sense. So
yeah,
logically, I can see both ends myself. We got Bale B. $4.99. Most all caps. Vince.
Oh, bro, don't listen, Billy Body, whatever your name is, Body Billy, bro. Please, no, bro. Seth versus Cody is not Brett versus Shawn. Not even close, man. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt of the Bloodline is a top 10 storyline, even though I think I could rattle off 10 storylines over the course of history. That's better, but I'll give you the benefit of the doubt, bro. Seth, please, not even close.
Yeah,
not even in the same conversation, bro. Seriously, man.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I've defended the Bloodline storyline with our shows, and I think that the Bloodline storyline's great. I like it. But as far as Seth and Cody, I mean, like, based off of what? Like, based off of Cody beating Seth 3 times, and then they meet up a year later. I mean, like, what is that based off?
So was Cody wrestling with a boo-boo?
Yeah, like what was
bro, come on, like seriously, man. Not I'm not even going to entertain that one.
Yeah.
And you want to say top 10, bro? I could rattle off the top of my head. We could talk Hulk Andre. We could talk about the Mega Powers. We could talk about Austin McMahon. We could talk about the NWO. Yeah, that's off the top of our heads, bro. Not even going back to the Bruno years. You could talk about Hulk and Sheik.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but you want to say Bloodline top 10. Okay. But don't stop with Cody and Seth, bro. Seriously, man.
Yeah. We get Chelsea Green and Cyan Deville cleaning house the tag team turmoil. What'd you think about this? What'd you think about the tag teams are just throwing together?
You got to help me with who these people are, because I've got Deville and Green. I've got who then? Oh, Dana Brooke was back. Was that Shotzi?
No, that was Tegan Knox.
See, I don't even. I don't even know. All right, so then we got LaRue with a question mark. Who was with LaRue?
Indy Hardwell. She was Dexter Loomis's wife. Like,
whatever. Okay, then we got Nikki and Emma
out of nowhere.
And then we got Chance and Tinker. Bro, there used to be a double play combination. Tinkers to Evers to Chance.
Yeah.
We got Tinkers and Evers and Chance. And okay, next, Chris. What's next, bro?
that's all we got. Yeah, I mean, it showcased how bad the tag team, like the tag team division is so bad that you literally had to make up tag teams on the spot. Like that's how bad it. And the thing is, I'm not a big fan of like merging titles that, especially if it doesn't make sense. Like the NXT Championship merging with the WWE Tag Team Championship doesn't make sense, but they're going back to they want to do the brand split, but then they're going to have the tag champions go to NXT to defend the titles.
Yeah,
And it goes like this tag team division shows that you're just making stuff up out of thin air and expecting for us to be, oh, that's a nice tag team. No, it made it look really bad.
Yeah, bro, come on, bro. Listen, I'm sorry, bro. Don't tell me what I'm seeing in this match are the best women wrestlers in the world, bro.
That's
please, like, come on, man, please.
That's a good point, man. We have so we have the Becky Lynch in-ring promo interrupted by Trish Stratus and Zoe Stark. What you got on that, man?
I don't know. Like, for somebody that's been there as long as Trish, you're really going to come up with the line that I'm better looking than each and every one of you, even with the man. Like Trish really, that's what we're going to come up here. The guy just said, high school. That's high school verbiage, bro. That's not clever. It's not creative. It's not smart. And then of course the angle, I'm not medically cleared, to wrestle. And bro, listen, this is a double-edged sword here. Okay, because I'm going to put it over, but I'm going to take it away. They made a concerted effort, bro, of booking matches for next week. Now, I've read something online that the reason they're trying to do this is because Vince doesn't like to cancel booked matches. So if they're advertising a match, Vince ain't going to change it at the last minute, which I called BS on that, Chris.
Open challenge, he canceled, though.
Exactly. 2 weeks ago, we just had an open challenge. So, of course, the dirt sheet writers at their best. But I want to give and I want to take away here. I like the fact that they're promoting next week. They're making a concerted effort to do that for whatever reason. But don't do that in front of the people. Don't do next week. Yeah, we're going to have a match next week in front of the people because you're screwing that crowd. Yeah. Cut the verbiage and then have the announcers come back and say, it has been booked. Next week. Don't do it in front of the people. Bro, they did that in front of the people at least 3 or 4 times tonight. And the crowd really feels screwed. Yeah. You could do the same exact thing, bro, but just let the announcers make the matches after they were challenged and right here next week on Raw. Don't do it in front of the people, bro.
Sure. Yeah. Good point.
And then, bro, what about this? You ready?
Yep.
Where's my sad trombone?
Come on.
This was Trish's greatest line of the night. Balta less. Did you hear that, bro? Instead of Baltimore, it was Balta less. Come on, Trish. Like, seriously, bro. Seriously, man. That's horrible.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, here we go. Trying to find the
Yes. Come on, man. Please, Trish. You are. Is she in the Hall of Fame already?
Oh yeah.
You're a Hall of Famer. You're a legend. I mean, my God, come on, man. You got to do better than that, man.
Yeah, here's the thing, Vince, man. She's just not. You can just tell that she's just not comfortable in her role as a heel. Like, she's just not good at it. Yeah. Like the whole thank you, Trish. Like, she's trying to get that cheap heat. You know what I mean? Like, if you're not good at getting cheap heat, it just sounds desperate. You know what I mean? And so, like, someone like an MJF, he's good at getting cheap heat, although, it's starting to get a little, stretchy, it's starting to get a little stale, but he's good at getting cheap heat. If you're trying to get cheap heat for the sake of getting cheap heat, it seems very desperate and it backfires against you. And I think Trish Stratus she does that. She tries to get that cheap heat, and it sounds very desperate. Bailey did that for a while too, just trying to get that cheap heat. And it's just she just doesn't fit the role very well to me.
I agree with you. And Bailey still does it.
Yes, she doesn't.
It's that in-ring segment last week was absolutely atrocious. Atrocious.
Next we have Cody Rhodes. So he comes out in gear for the start of the show, and then all of a sudden he brawls with Brock. It comes back in suit.
Bro, did you not think, Chris, this is what I'm talking about? So he finishes the promo and he's backing up to the curtain, right?
Same thing. I was
how
like,
did they not do that?
Yes.
How did they not do that?
Yeah.
Like, seriously, bro. Like, I couldn't believe they didn't do that.
You're autographing the belts, like the camera shot was very zoomed on Cody, and usually when they do that, like they're not showing the person who's coming up to attack them when they zoom like that. And then I'm like, okay, so then they do another, semi zoom shot that you don't see the back, someone coming from the back very well. Those are two opportunities for
bro,
him to
I swear to God, unless it's in, I'm starting to believe this. Unless it's in Brock's contract that, okay, listen, I only work from 9 to 9:30.
Yeah.
That's it. 9 to 9:30, bro. And if it's Eastern time, if it's Western time, it's 6 to 6. I don't know what else it can be, bro. I don't know what else it can be, bro. That 10 minutes, this guy's gone.
Yeah, I mean that's a good point, man. Because at the end of the day, like I said at the top of the show, like if he's there, like you flew him 2,013 miles from Saskatchewan to be able to do 5 minutes, you need to capitalize on Brock Lesnar being there. Because guess what? You're not going to keep flying him a 4,000-mile round trip from Saskatchewan. You're going to be sure to have him come in certain dates and capitalize it, unless, because you know how Brock is, like toward the pay-per-view, he'll come like 2 or 3 straight times, like 1 or 2 straight times. And so I think that's what they're doing there. Like they're just giving him the 10-minute 4,000-mile round trip.
Bro, listen, I don't care if I'm Vince Russo or if I'm Brock Lesnar. I ain't flying 4,000 miles to be on the show for 5 minutes. That doesn't work for me, brother. No.
Hey, if the pay is sweet,
bro, even if the pay is good, I don't think I'm doing it, bro. I'll be honest with you,
man.
Oh my God, that's
he's probably hunting and killing deer and chopping meat, and then they're like, "Hey, man, look, all right, Brock, we need to build you and Cody up, and we're gonna fly you here. We just need you to do a quick spot, get a Cody, eat a Cody cutter, and you can go back home."
All right, man. As long as it's between 9 and 9:30, that's it. 9:30, I'm on the plane. I'm back home, right?
Yeah. I think he has a private jet too, if I'm not mistaken. So they're like, so it was just in and out, man, like legit in and out. So, or at least he has access to a private jet. I heard. I don't know if he still does. All right. Next we have Alpha Academy, Maxine Dupree against the Viking Raiders in Valhalla. What do you think about this, man?
Bro, how ridiculous was it the end of the match? When the heels were holding that pose between the ropes for about 32 minutes. Like, bro, this is horrible, bro. The babies are posing. It's about 15 minutes now. Yeah. The heels are holding the thing. Oh, bro, who cares about any of this?
The recap, Maxine's like, patting the heads and saying thank you. They go to the recap. All of a sudden, still same play.
Yeah, who cares about any of this, bro?
Maxine, man, do you see potential in her? Because here's the thing, man. She's super and this to me, Vince, Maxine Dupree just proves to me what I say all the time: character over wrestling. Because she's more over with 3 moves than most of the women wrestlers there with a big catch can super kicks,
I agree.
Code Reds, Canadian Destroyers. She's more over with 3 moves than just about everybody else back there.
I agree with you, bro.
You see any potential in her as a character?
Who with the company booking her?
Say if you had the reins.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
The company booking her, absolutely not.
Do you think that she'll get pigeonholed by this, or do you think it's helping her characters, helping her layers? Helping her have layers in her character.
It should be helping her have layers in her character.
Yeah.
Bro, listen, bro, there could be a 27 team women's team, bro. Sexism is still alive and well in the WWE, and come on, Natalya, who's up next soon, is the perfect case in point. This woman's 41 years old, and her career's over. Why? She looks in tremendous shape. Bro, how many guys are in their prime at 41? Yeah. We can name a billion wrestlers, bro, who at 41 are in there. She's done at 41. Why is she done at 41? I don't understand. She still looks good to me. You could tell she's still committed to the gym. She still works her butt off. Yeah. So my point is, do they really care about any of these girls? Stephanie's not there anymore. This was a Stephanie pet project. Do they really care, or are they just going to put them out there every week?
I think that they did a good job with Bianca Belair. She was champ for over a year, so I think that they did a really good job with her. As far as any more, I mean, like, it's hard to say. I think other than Belair, they really haven't protected anyone else. I mean, of course, they protected Charlotte for the most part, and protected Becky to a sense as far as currently. But anyone else, they really haven't protected, like that. So yeah. Next we have, but as far as Maxine Dupree, man, I think that the Alpha Academy gimmick is really helping her much more than the Maximum Male Models. Her as a baby face, people are getting into it, man. You might as well just ride this wave and see where it goes. Ricochet cutting a backstage interview. So theoretically, this is leading to Ricochet versus Logan Paul at SummerSlam. Do you think that's a missed opportunity for Paul, or do you think that that's suitable?
I don't think that's that. Listen, Ricochet's a great guy. I think I met him one time, but he's a mid-carder, bro. Like,
doesn't really bring the star power for SummerSlam.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. Yeah.
This is what I think, Vince, is what they're doing with this. I think what they're doing, Vince, is that Logan Paul, he comes in and just basically loses matches. I mean, like I think he's won one match. It was
puts on a show, but loses matches.
Yeah, so it was the tag match. I think it was him and Miz beat the Mysterios at WrestleMania. And I mean, he lost to Roman, he lost to Seth. He lost the Money in the Bank. So he's coming in. He had a spot or two at the Royal Rumble, still didn't win that. So he's coming in and losing all these matches. It seems like he's like, okay, like, all right, let me get a win here. What I mean? So,
bro, if I'm Logan Paul, my brand is everything. Bro.
Sure,
absolutely,
yeah.
Chris.
Yeah,
I hope he is.
Yeah, so
I hope he is.
It seems like what he's doing is, okay, so look, y'all need me more than I need you. So I came in as a fanboy and having an opportunity at first, and I didn't mind taking all those L's. Now I'm bringing some more eyes to your product here, and I need to have a win now because
that's
I'm
a great point, Chris. That's a great. If they're doing that, that's good.
Yeah, and I think what they're going to do is they're going to have him beat Ricochet just to say, okay, well, thank you, for putting more eyes on the product, with the impulsive bringing people to the show, still having that. Yeah. So they're going to feed him they're going to feed Ricochet to him as kind of a thank you.
I'm good with that. I'm good with that.
Yeah. Next we have Rhea Ripley defeating Natalya. Your thoughts on this, Vince? You had some thoughts on this?
Yeah, I told you I thought this was great. Both women worked their backsides off. And like I said, the thing I really liked about this was it looked like a fight.
Sure.
And that's what I want to see. I want to see a fight. I don't want to see Circus Soleil. I want to see a fight.
Indeed. We got Raw and $9.99 super chat. Boom. Rousey's poor sportsmanship and fear of openly talking about the two brutal losses cost her both fans and fame. Tyson was the real deal, and boxing fans love him. Rousey was a media hype job, and MMA fans hate her. I mean, you got some good points there. I think with Rousey, I mean, like, and then she bashes the product when she left WrestleMania and things like that, and just how fans are with the tribalism, man. If you're bashing the product after leaving and then come back, I mean, like you're pretty much blacklisted, in the fans' eyes forever, if not for a long time. So, we got Lewis, $5 super chat. How would you guys revive Dana Brooks' career? Also, would you book Ronda versus Shayna in an ultimate submission match? What do you think, Vince?
I like the idea of the ultimate submission match. God, bro, I don't know what we would do to revive Dana Brooks' career. I just don't know. I would have to think about that, but that isn't something that just comes off the top of my head because she's just been waiting in the water for so long. You really need to think the creative through.
The first thing I think of would be to revive her in NXT, similar to a Mandy Rose, because when Mandy Rose was on the main roster, she was just totally misused, was just a non-factor. I came up with the name the Bouncies, and we put her over more than the WWE did with the bouncy gimmick. And I think that Dana Brooks still has that ability. As far as I do think that she needs to work in the ring, man. I do think she needs some work in the ring, but I think for her, she has that potential. And I think if she gets booked like a Mandy Rose in NXT, then you can, she can have an opportunity there. As far as Ronda and Shayna ultimate submission match, I mean, I guess that would make it make sense. That would build some intrigue, because just a 1-on-1 match at SummerSlam is going to fall flat. Yeah, I think it's going to fall flat. Then this is all the super chats for now. Let's go to the video promos of Tommaso Ciampa and The Miz leading to a match between the two of
them. I was so freaking happy to see The Miz serious.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, bro. I was like, oh my God, what a breath of fresh air. And I hope his matches with this guy are the same. I want to see with Miz what I saw with Rhea Ripley and Natalya tonight. That's what I want to see. Enough of him freaking being the clown. I got a little wiener. Like, bro, it was so freaking refreshing to see him more serious, bro.
Yeah, I agree with that. I just, man, it's just hard for me to take anything.
I'm with you. I'm with you, bro. It's the same thing with Dana.
Yeah,
we've seen the same thing for so long, bro, that now we're gonna have to really come up with something because it's not going to be easy.
Indeed.
Right.
The gimmick with her and Reginald, I mean, that at least gave her some, type of something with them two together. That gave people were intrigued with her at that time. It was still hokey, I mean, it was gimmicky, but at least it gave her some type of screen time, what I mean? But it's hard to put her in a serious role. It's going to take a lot of thinking for sure. We got backstage promo. Rhea Ripley walks. She does a face-off with Io Sky. She puts her in her place, and Rio walks away. And then she talks.
And I'm looking at this, and I'm saying, wait a minute, bro. You're back there with the money in the bank briefcase.
Yeah.
Natalya just took her to the limit. Wasn't that the time to cash it in?
Yeah.
I mean, right or wrong, bro. Like seriously, if you didn't cash it in then, I don't know what you're waiting for.
Yeah, yeah. The logic is just it's it's baffling to me.
Yeah.
We got Ty Salters $10 super chat. Off topic, Tom Grossi 30 and 30 raised $500,000 for St. Jude and being featured on Pat McAfee, Rich Eisen, and the NFL's YouTube channel talk about doing some chaotic good. Yeah, good. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for
Very nice, Ty.
yeah, indeed. Thank you for letting us know that. Thank you for that super chat. Speaking of ESPN, man, man, do you see their layoffs?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Man, like 20, man. That's they cut a bunch of people off. I think for me as a college football fan, I was most surprised by David Pollock. You know, I'm a huge College Game Day fan. I watch College Game Day every week before college football, and David Pollock was a really good part of College Game Day. I think he was there since 2011. So all these layoffs, man, I'm like, whoa, man. And it's crazy they signed big money deals for Shannon Sharp and Pat McAfee.
Yeah.
They lay off 20 people, man. That's Disney, man. They just came and just said, yeah, Jalen Rose out, you know, David Pollock out. So
Yeah.
we have Matt Rillo and Giovanni.
Before we get to that, bro, I do want to say the Bloodline Civil War highlights package was great. Whoever put that together did a great job, bro. I wanna reference Riddle here, so people don't think I make fun of Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens.
Mm-hmm.
Chris, do you remember how long ago was it that Riddle returned?
A little bit before they had a triple threat match. It was a little bit after WrestleMania, like right after WrestleMania.
So what month is that? Like April?
April, yeah.
Okay, guys, on this very show, I said when Riddle returned, I said, bro, he looks a little soft around the middle. Okay? Fast forward to tonight. So if we're talking about from April to July, the beginning of July, did you see him tonight, bro?
I did, but I wasn't paying attention.
Shredded down to nothing. Okay, so in other words, he had a long layoff. He was a little bit out of shape, came back, immediately got in game shape. So, bro, when I talk about, you know, the physiques of Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, don't think I'm picking on them, bro. What I'm saying is they're probably not working as hard in a gym as they should be working. And when I looked at Riddle tonight, go look at him when he first came back and look at him tonight. And that's the necessary work you need to put in if you are going to be a pro wrestler, in my opinion.
Well said, man.
He looked great. He looked great, bro.
The only pushback I have to that is that I no longer blame anybody for assaulting Matt Riddle because he had no boots on. He had no boots. No boots.
Yes.
Yep. So every attack is his fault now. So we got Lewis Harwood, $5 super chat, bro.
You know, bro, I think I worry about Riddle bumping in the ring more than anybody else because, bro, he's so lean.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, bro? There's not too much there taking the impact. Yeah. He is very, very lean. And that's why when I always see him work the way he does, I like, I want him to be able to prolong that career.
I agree. And he works with he's like straight up feet. You know, I remember when Rusev was when he was feet, you know, had no feet. I mean, when he had no boots, when he was just with his feet, he was talking about how just uncomfortable that was, and how he just it was hurting his ankles, and it was hurting his feet, and man, that's just the ACL. I mean, that's just an Achilles tear just waiting to happen, man. Unless you're properly strapped. Like Solo Sokoa, if you notice, like from the from up from the heel down to like almost half of the foot is taped.
Yeah.
Because he has that support. He has more of that support with him. But Riddle, man, he's not, man. So he's just straight, bone. So and a little bit of, the cartilage and muscle from the foot, but man, it's tough. So Lewis said, can we possibly get a reviving Dana on Riding with Russo? Man, that's going to take.
I'd be happy to do that. I mean, Chris,
Yeah.
that's up to you. But if you gave me some time to think about it, I would definitely come up with something.
Yeah, I'm cool with that. That's a special request.
Bro, I'm a big fan, bro. I am a big fan, and I am always going to support people that I know are working hard. And you can look at her and she is working hard. I'm always gonna support somebody like that, bro.
I can respect that, man. Yeah, I mean, I can respect that, man. You're the one with the experience when it comes to backstage and in business. I'm thinking it from an athlete. I played sports for years, and my thing is just, man, you got to be in a sport, whatever sport it is. You got to be in it to get better. You got to be in it to improve. And if you're stagnant in a sport, maybe that's not the sport for you.
That
So,
could possibly be.
Yeah, and here's the thing. Dana Brooks, she's gorgeous. She has the appeal. She was a bodybuilder. She has that athletic ability. Because it's easy for her to get in good shape because she's in great shape. And so I think either you're going to have to really like spend some time just really reflecting if this is the direction for you. And that's okay if it's not. It's totally okay if it's not. But if it is, just really focus on character building. And I think a lot of these people, these aspiring wrestlers who don't really have a lot of indie work, a lot of work behind their belt, they're trying to be the best wrestler. And I think that that's totally misdirected. I think that you should try to be the best character and protect your brand, man. That's what it's all about. So, next we have who we got? We got Rollins and Mysterio, right? Is that it? Oh, the Riddle. The Riddle and Giovanni Vinci, and then Riddle gets attacked by Vinci and Kaiser, and then McIntyre makes a save. Oh, that's fine. But somehow we're getting a. This is what was a big no for me. Like, you have like serious machine gun Drew McIntyre come out and go face to face with one of the most intimidating heels. And then you put him in a hokey, carny spot with Riddle backstage of like going to get some pints and tagging with them next week. I think that brought his intimidation back return. I think that diluted it a lot, man. I was like, like that was, to me, that was just.
I'm with you. I agree with you.
Because here's the thing. Even if they would have done a tag match between Riddle and Drew, I'm not I'm not mad at that per se. What I'm upset about is the fact that Drew had to get that Riddle rub. What I mean? Like that to me, there was no point in doing that. So
I hear you. Yep.
And then we close out with Rollins defeating Mysterio by DQ. We saw Damian Priest interfering and attacking Rollins. Dominik assists him in doing that. Priest teases the cash in. Finn Balor comes out and attacks Seth. Seth closes the show by pedigreeing Dominik on the outside. This causes arguments between Priest and Finn to close the show. Vince, what do you think?
Now, bro, I actually liked the way they did this. I really, really did. We forgot all about Finn Balor. Priest is in. Rollins is in trouble. Priest is going to cash it in. Here comes Rollins out of nowhere. I like that. I like the heat between, Balor and a Priest. But bro, I've got to ask myself this question, Chris. I got to ask you this question. Do we really want to see Finn Balor versus Damian Priest?
Okay, that's a good question. So, if it builds to the story of Priest turning babyface, I'm okay with it. But they're making Priest a heel still. So I just don't care about the Judgment Day infighting. I care nothing about that. I do care if Damian Priest is kind of seeing the light of day and he won the case, and because of the infighting he turns babyface, and then that causes Finn, the animosity between them two, to go for it. And I think what they should do, Vince, this is what I'm all about: stories, man, and stretching storylines. What they should do is they should have either Dominik or, like, JD McDonough, they're teasing him possibly coming. Somebody should help Finn beat Priest at SummerSlam. And what that can do is that can cause Finn to say, okay, well, I want your case now. And so at the next PLE, they can do Finn versus Priest for the case, and that could cause Priest to keep the case. I'll be okay with that if you stretch it that way.
I think what they need to do, Chris, and I think this one is rather simple. If we got a little heat between Balor and Priest, then it's going to come down to whose side are Dominik and Rhea Ripley on. And Dominik and Rhea Ripley have enough heat that if they help Balor, it makes Damian Priest a babyface. That's all they need to do. It's very simple.
Yeah, I like it. I like it. And I think that should be the way to go when it goes to Finn versus Priest at SummerSlam. Seemingly that's where we're going to get, and I'm okay with that. And again, I don't really care about the infighting per se, but if you add Dominik in it, as far as like whose side is he on, I think that adds an important element to it. Otherwise, again, Priest and Finn infighting Judgment Day. Judgment Day is just it's a fodder group, anyways. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and
it's
bro,
like,
and see, this is where the writing comes in, Chris, because this is where if I'm writing this, I would write it in such a way where the match is going to be for the case. And it really, it's going to come down to whose side is Dominik and Rhea Ripley on, but you're going to paint the picture that they're on a Priest side, and then out of nowhere, they screw Priest. Finn Balor wins that case because, bro, now that will really get Priest over as a babyface, because you can't have him lose that case. Like lose the shot. It's not going to get him anywhere. If you think Dominik and Ripley are with him and then they turn on him, costing him the case, because you could beat Balor. Like Balor couldn't, that's not going to hurt.
Yeah.
But that will really build Priest's stop.
Interesting. So how does he get the case back eventually, or what?
Bro, I don't think he gets the case back. I think you have one of the babyface champions. If it's Rollins, give him the match. Saying, listen, man, I've been watching you, and we fought tooth and nail in the past, but you seem lately to be on the path, and blah 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 blah, and have the babyface give him the match, because either way you're going to get him over. Either he beats him or he loses the match of his life, and Seth raises the old hand.
This is what I even throw this to you, Vince. How about this? How about you have Finn get the case, and so that basically causes a full-on babyface turn from Priest, and so now he has to work his way back up, and he's trying to look for every angle to try to get the case back. He's not getting an opportunity. He wins the Royal Rumble, and that causes him to get a guaranteed opportunity for the title, and then that can cause Finn to be even more jealous. and then either one, Finn teases a cash in at WrestleMania, or Finn says, "Hey, I'll just cash it in at WrestleMania," and either we do a triple threat, or whoever wins the match, I'm gonna automatically cash it in that way. So it's, I mean, just something as far as just the animosity with the Judgment Day making sense that way. I'll be okay with Priest winning the Royal Rumble as a baby face to get his opportunity back for the championship. So
see, I just don't know how much stock they're putting in him, bro. Just looking at the way he's been booked up to this point.
Mhm.
If they had a lot of stock in him, they would not have been beating him.
I agree.
So I don't know how they're looking at him right now.
Yeah. I think they will. I think with the heat that Dom has, I think that the fans will get behind him if they side with Finn in that type of angle. So that would be interesting. All right, we're gonna close the show with Lewis once again, $5 super chat. Bro, imagine Finn won the case, Priest gets screwed over, and then Priest ends up in the tournament and has to work his way back to the title picture.
Well, the Royal Rumble is
I think the Royal Rumble is the way to go.
I agree with that. Yeah.
All right, Vince, let them know about the brand, my man, and the fantasy baseball.
Yes, guys, check out russosbrand.com. And I do have a fantasy baseball Patreon. It's patreon.com/VRFBB if you want me to help you down the stretch with picks of the week and whatnot. Check it out, bro. It's like, I think, what, $5 a month or something like that.
Very nice. Very nice. All right. Sounds good, my man. This guy right here is Vince Russo. I am Dr. Chris. This is the Legion of Raw. Have a good night, everybody. Solo.